Hey everyone, this is Alexusadays, and I've been asked to provide a feedback on a roadmap for QA engineer. Subscribers sent me this roadmap and they asked, is it a good roadmap? Do you think I should follow it? Is information there accurate? So I'm just going to give some of the general feedback I think I can give based on my experience, and I will provide a roadmap for QA engineer as I think you should be going into the future as a QA engineer, what you could be following along. All right. So here's the roadmap, and it's on the roadmap.sh/QA. And the road here for the QA engineer starts with learning fundamentals, such as what is a quality assurance, QA mindset, testing approaches, talking about white box, gray box, testing, black box, different project management, understanding, managing your test, recording tests, and testing techniques such as functional, non-functional testing. So I think this block, together with SDLC delivery model like Agile, Kanban, Scrum, Stream Programming, and so on, and even some of it in TDD, compatibility, test planning, test case, test scenario, like manual testing, like all this block from here, from fundamentals to manual testing, is beginning of your career. And I put it as a single step here, just start QA journey. Like everything that you see here, I mean, it is cool because you can click on a specific tool or specific concept and it will tell you what it is. You can put it into pending or done or skipped and so on. You can progress through this roadmap. But in general, like all of this that you see here is just beginning of your journey to get started. And the best way to start your QA journey when you try to get into QA is either get a QA certificate on Udemy, like I'll provide a link to my course, so that I have QA from scratch, your journey to manual testing. So at the end of this course, you'll have a certificate and it will talk about all of those different concepts and some additional tools. Or you can pick up a QA bootcamp, or you can start doing U-Test, being freelance QA, and create test cases, get paid for running test scenarios, get paid for logging bugs and so on. Like small amount, not huge amounts, but you'll get some payment, some motivation, and you'll get some training built into the freelance QA. Or you can read some QA books. For example, like I have Navigating, Testing, and Quality Assurance that will talk about what testing is. So you need to have all of those things like from somewhere, all of those concepts, right? That fit into your start of the journey to understand what this profession is, what you will be doing, what a bug reports, and so on and so on. So one of those ways, so QA certificate on Udemy or any other teaching platform that provides certificates, QA bootcamp, U-Test, or other freelance QA platform, or some QA books, right? So once you're done, like you should be familiar, once you go through step one and you pick a course, you should be familiar with software development lifecycle. You should be familiar with functional testing versus non-functional. You should be familiar with how to create test cases, how to file bug reports, create test reports, how to gather logs, and so on. Like all of those concepts are like within the training for a QA program, right? Then you move into finding first QA job, becoming junior QA engineer, and then you will have different tools and different things that you will be doing based on the industry. Like this is a very industry specific field. Like the fundamentals stay the same, understanding that product should work as expected based on the business documentation and based on the scenarios that you put in or like the product manager, product owner create. But some of the things that you should be familiar, like Jira, like a project management tool, Jira, because or some other project management tool like ClickUp or whatever is being used in the team. Some sort of test management tool such as TestRail or whatever you're using for like test management reporting, tracking your testing results and so on. Chrome DevTools if you will be looking into testing on the web, like Linux commands if your platform going to be Linux based. Networking, possibly, if you need to connect like different devices and like make sure the speed is accurate, like the if you tested like Wi-Fi and networking. So SQL, if you will be doing anything like with database and so on. So those will be industry specific tools, and you will start picking them up and will pick them up as you get your job. A lot of times you'll be learning on the job, or if you prepare for a job, you can't like learn everything, right? So that's the thing. Then what happens here, like you may become a localization QA. So if you're bilingual, if you like Russian English or Spanish English, companies that hire QA engineers to do localization testing, where you verify the translations are correct, could be like payment systems in different countries, time zones. A lot of different things happen when you move product from one region to another, like local laws and regulations. So you can get specialized in becoming localization QA. Or you can get more focused and become accessibility QA, where you will be looking into accessibility testing, and there are different rules and regulations in accessibility. Or you may become mobile QA and you'll be testing on Android or iPhone or multiple different platforms that are supported by your product, mobile platforms, right, and apps. You may become performance QA, more focused on like testing performance, and you can be kind of a generalist doing a bit of everything in your company. Or you may become AI QA, focused on like LLM platforms and prompts and making sure no one can like hack your AI assistant, something like that, right? So very different things can happen here once you find the first job, because your first job may determine like your course or like more understanding how broad the QA industry, how broad possibilities of a QA engineer to multiple industries, and almost every industry that has code like will need some sort of quality assurance. You become specialized in the industry as a QA, right? And with that comes a different degree of specialization as a QA engineer within the industry, be it mobile, be it performance, be it AI, be it accessibility, and different tools comes with that. So a lot of different things happening here, but that's your first job and kind of understanding of the field and being hands-on, kind of choosing where to go from there, right? Then you will progress to mid and then senior QA engineers. And here are some things that I would like generally be good to know is some API testing. Like a good tool for that would be Postman, and doing REST API testing, and do some basic scripting like JavaScript, Python, and get some introduction to automation. Again, mid and senior QA, things that you will be doing will be greatly dependent on what kind of QA engineering you're doing. And then after that, from senior position, you can either proceed into automation or management roles. If you go with automation, I highly recommend just Playwright.js for right now, because it's the fastest growing automation tool. You might also become mobile automation QA. That will be something, tool like Appium for mobile automation. And then after that, you can progress into software developer and test. So you'll be doing some automation. You will be doing CI/CD, for example, like with Bitbucket, you'll be scheduling tests, running tests in the pipeline. You'll do some sort of automated reporting. So that's going to be like a cross of automation testing, like in some development, some DevOps. A lot of different things happen when you become SDET and you get like closer to the code. Or you can go into management role and become QA lead, QA manager, QA director kind of thing. So that would be your roadmap as a QA engineer for 2025, generally from my perspective. Now, coming back to this roadmap, so fundamentals and up to manual testing, everything goes through some sort of a program, be it bootcamp, Udemy certificate, a book, or like freelance QA. You're covering here everything that is listed. Then in automation, once you progress, so there's manual, junior, kind of mid-level, senior QA engineers. Then again, you get into automation, backend, look into REST Assured and Postman, and then front end, a look into, again, mostly Playwright for now. Also, if you want, you can look into Selenium and Cypress, other popular tools. The rest, like concept of HTML, CSS, JavaScript, I mean, it is helpful, but especially if you're doing web testing and you need some introduction to web. But just focus on the Playwright. If you don't know what to learn, focus on the Playwright for automation. Again, mobile would be another thing, like another flow for quality assurance. You can be hands-on manual mobile, or you can be automation mobile, and that will be like Appium, right? So again, here the roadmap gets a little bit confused, and then accessibility testing, how we get from automated into non-functional and accessibility. Like accessibility testing can be automated, can be its own pass. Again, X tools, Chrome Dev tools. This is good, but it doesn't have to be after automation. It can be in parallel with the manual, right? So loaded performance testing, again, here we can see like JMeter is very popular. But again, this probably in parallel, like load and performance accessibility, something that mid and senior QA level engineers will be able to do, even if they're doing like manual. Was that we can again add AI here. Security testing for authentication, authorization, vulnerability scanning. There's some tools that do that. There is some segment of security testing that QA does, not very deep in test. And then after that we get like email testing, reporting, monitoring logs, version control system. Like version control system and Git, you already probably going into automation. Back end and front end, that's already part of it. It doesn't have to come after security. Like all of this that comes after automation is just a mixed bag of things that can be part of automation, can be part of manual. So like I wouldn't go down further than automated testing back end and front end on this roadmap, because everything else here, like load and performance, again, part of manual, very possible, or part of automation. Security testing, again, could be part of manual, part of automation. Email testing, reporting, monitoring logs, version control system, repo hosting services like CI/CD. Some of this can be part of like SDET or QA automation. Some of it could be part of like manual. So this is like a mixed bag of things here. I know there are different tools that branching out of whatever, part of the step on the journey here, but I wouldn't be very, kind of trusting into all of this here. Then headless testing, it's also part of automation. Headless testing is just like a very first test you can run with Playwright as you install it. So again, why it's set it up as the last step in this roadmap, like I don't understand. Like CI/CD as the last step, I don't understand. So this from fundamentals to manual is one step. You're starting your career. In here, you will learn all of those concepts either through like a certificate, through a bootcamp, or like in a book, or doing even freelance QA. For backend, frontend, backend, again, focus on Postman API testing with understand REST assurance, Postman, and how to do API testing with frontend. Dive into HTML, CSS, JavaScript, browser dev tools, and Playwright. If you're want to, you can also look into Selenium, Cypress. Like those are most popular tools. Like this is a roadmap. Like learn everything, a lot of things, and some of things are not really about QA at all. Kind of related to QA maybe, but that like you don't have to check every item here. Like this is too much. Load and performance, yes. JMeter, again, part of manual, senior, mid-level QA. Git starts and comes with like senior QA getting into automation. Test reporting will be part of your test trail, will be part of your like learning fundamentals, the very beginning. Like email testing, this is very like specific stuff, very specific things. You may encounter it at any step as a QA engineer, because you might test emails as a junior QA for your product. This is like, and security testing also could be very specific to the product. Version control in Git, again, becomes part of automation and going for it as that. Same with like CI/CD, different tools here. Learn not Bitbucket. Learn GitHub Actions, right? So, and once you understand like YAML and GitHub Actions, a lot of other tools like will be very familiar, because Azure, Bitbucket, anything Git based will have some sort of CI/CD component with YAML. You can also look into Jenkins as a standalone thing, because it's still popular because it's open source for CI/CD. The headless testing, again, is part of regular automation. I don't know why it's like the last step. So first half of the roadmap is okay with multiple different things that you should be learning as you get introduced to QA. Automation, backend, frontend is okay, but pick just one thing from here, one thing from here, one thing from here. Specifically Postman, specifically HTML, CSS, JavaScript, specifically like Playwright. For mobile automation, again, that will be another journey path. When you get into manual mobile, you then maybe progress into like automation mobile using Appium, for example. Accessibility, load and performance, security, all of those come as part of your progressing into mid-level and senior QA engineer. Okay, and this is just like a hot mess. Some of things are here, most of things are here. That's just like part of automation, or is that QA. Okay, so the roadmap is here. If you have questions or you want like a more detailed video, I can create one. We can go in details on tools and stuff. And I will post this roadmap on my Patreon on Alexusadays. For any free member, it will be available in other tiers up as well. All right, let me know what you think. This was Alexusadays. Thank you, and bye-bye.